Good morning, everyone. Boy, I am loving these brisk New England mornings. I don't know if it's the norm for this time of year or not, but it's in the high 50s right now. Feels terrific. We got down to about 54 degrees last night, and boy, I slept like a baby in my tent under my quilt. That cool air just feels amazing. It's a beautiful morning. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be sunny and a very comfortable 72 degrees today for the high. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're starting our day with a descent, and we have really 3 big climbs today. 2 up to 2,000 feet of elevation, and then 1 really big one up to 4,000 feet of elevation that I'm really looking forward to. Today we're going to climb Mount Killington. It is the second highest peak in Vermont, but the largest ski resort in Vermont is at its peak, and there's some promise of spectacular views. We'll see when we get there, but that's going to be definitely the biggest climb so far in Vermont, and our biggest climb since Virginia. And again, closer we get to New Hampshire, where the higher the elevations start to become, and I'm thrilled for it. It's going to be a strenuous day because of the climbs and because of the distance. My goal today is 23.6 miles. That is my primary goal, and that's actually my only goal. I don't have any stretch goals after that. 23.6 miles will get us up and over Mount Killington and take us to the Churchill Scott shelter. It's going to be a challenging day, but it's going to be a good day. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if I pull off everything I intend to do today, I'm also going to cross 1,700 miles. I can't even wrap my brain around that. Now let's get started. Boy, this section of trail that we are starting out with this morning is beautiful. We haven't experienced this in Vermont yet. This is just pristine trail. I hope this is a good omen or a sign of trail to come yet today. That would be a nice change of pace. We are going up our first climb of the day, and boy, it is smooth. We came across this little 0.1 blue blaze to a vista that promises some kind of view. We're going to check it out. We need to work on the Green Mountain Club's definition of vista. It is, we'll call it an obscured view. All right, that's okay. It's a beautiful day. The sun feels nice. Be a nice lunch spot. But vista, I don't think so. Well, we finished our first climb of the day, and it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. The trail remained smooth all the way up. There were some steep parts, but the smooth trail helps so much. We're on the descent now, and trail still isn't bad. It's not as great as on the way up, but still not bad. I'll take it. That's a good view. This is the Clarendon Gorge. Climb number 2 of the day is significantly more difficult than the first one. Lots of boulder scrambles. These are the first boulder scrambles that we've experienced in Vermont. We're headed up that. And on top of climb number 2 really quite nice. Well, everybody, I have topped off my water and we are beginning our climb up Mount Killington. It's going to be very gradual at first, and then increase in grade the closer we get. At about 3 miles in, the elevation will start to ramp up. So it's going to be a gradual uphill until that time. Starting out at about 1,520 feet, we're going to climb about 2,700 feet in elevation. Most of that is going to come within the last 3 miles. The profile, though, makes that a pretty easy climb. We'll see if my estimate is right. So as you can see, the terrain in the initial first couple of miles is really gentle. Boy, I gotta tell you, I've loved this trail today. It has not been like the previous 3 days. Few rocks, few roots, a little bit of mud. My kind of day. We are 0.4 miles from the Governor Clement shelter. I'm gonna stop there for lunch. It's after that that the elevation is gonna start to ramp up. All right, everybody, the Governor Clement shelter. I'm gonna stop here, grab a bite to eat for lunch, then finish this mountain out. So we are back at it after our lunch, and it's as I predicted. The elevation grade has increased, but luckily the trail's still pretty smooth. Check-in. We have 2 miles remaining to the peak, the summit of Mount Killington, and the trail has taken a bit more of a strenuous profile. We are back to rocks and roots, at least, some blowdowns here and there. It's slow going, but still moving at a steady pace, which is good. The momentum keeps me going. So without a doubt, to date, this is one of the most difficult climbs yet, mainly because of footing. Lots of roots to get your feet and ankles twisted up in, and lots of rocks at sharp angles, and a few boulders here and there, and the trees. It generally looks like a piece of airburst, munitions went off in here. It's slow going, to say the least. So everyone, we are at the top of Mount Killington, at least as far as the AT will take us. The AT continues downhill. What we're looking at right now is Cooper Lodge. It's a shelter, fully enclosed for hikers with some tent pads. The summit trail is just behind the tent pads up a blue blaze, about 0.2. There's no way I came all this way and I'm gonna skip the summit. So let's go. Everyone, I gave you the summit of Mount Killington. So that was amazing. It was good to climb a summit and see some long views like that. I tried to see if I could see any of the New Hampshire mountains, Mount Moosilauke or any of the presidentials, but they wouldn't show up in the Peak Finder app, which I use. But I was so absolutely excited and thrilled for those views. Glad I could share them. For word of the recommendation to anyone that were to ever try to hike this and desire to stay at the Cooper Lodge shelter just below the summit, it's kind of a dump. I stopped in and poked my head in, and it's very obvious that locals, tourists, day hikers like to go there to party. There were 2 full bags of trash sitting in there, just rotting. Everything from beer cans to food, and really sad to see. More than anybody could pack out. So it's, yeah, the lodge, at least on today's day, was in sad affairs, bad shape. So anyway, now that we have summited Killington Peak, we are now on the descent to the Churchill Scott Shelter, which is where we're headed. It's in about 4.4 miles. However, before we get there though, I need to seek out the 1,700 mile mark. Let's go find it. And after a long day, we also get the satisfaction of crossing 1,700 miles. Less than 500 miles remaining. 494.3 to be exact. So, I'm getting close. Less than 500 miles remaining. That's a big number. I think about all that I've been able to accomplish within a 500 mile span. I think of walking to Damascus. I think about the shoes that I replaced at the 500 mile mark. I'm about to get my fourth and final pair of shoes. In just a matter of days, I'm going to be in New Hampshire. And then Maine. And all that remains between me and the summit of Mount Katahdin is 494.3 miles. I absolutely am looking forward to sharing those remaining 494.3 miles with everyone. And so, after a long day, we are going to head down to the Churchill Scott Shelter. The AT continues down the trail, but we're going to turn up here. Should be about 0.1 to the shelter. Well, everybody, I am all set up at the Churchill shelter. I'm tenting tonight. It's actually first time setting up on one of the wooden platforms in Vermont. Later on, when I probably get to New Hampshire, hopefully I'll have an opportunity to share that setup and what that looks like. But right now it's too close to hiker midnight. I don't want to disturb any other backpackers. But suffice it to say, it was a terrific day. The hiking was really easy. It was a nice change of pace from the last 3 days of hiking in Vermont. It got a little bit rocky and everything after the summit, but you'll have that. Everything on the trail isn't isn't perfect, and you take it as it comes, and stay positive along the way. All in all, it was a 23.6 mile day. Puts me up in good position for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an easy day. It's a 5.2 mile day. I'm going to Nero in the town of Killington, and that will be my last resupply before I head out of Vermont into New Hampshire. So I'm excited about that as well. I appreciate everybody continuing to support me on my journey. Thank you, everyone. I'm Bricks.